as we make our way to the GCPD back in the open world, it's a great opportunity to talk a little bit about some of the specific features Tony mentioned earlier and how we're using them in Batman. So let's start by talking about the snow. Nick, maybe just find a place with some snow. The Christmas Eve, I mentioned the setting for this game. There's a big snowstorm that's blowing in. And having a city that felt like it was Christmas and that there was a snowstorm was really important to us for a variety of reasons. We really love the sort of emotional dissonance, the disconnect that's created by having the most wonderful time of the year, Christmas. Oh, it's Christmas presents, and it's turkey, and it's Christmas carols, and it's holding hands, and it's friends and family, and getting drunk, and all of that good stuff. But it's in the worst place in the entire world. And that sort of white on black creates some very wonderful emotional opportunities that we play with in this game, just to kind of put the players on ease. And so in order to help reinforce this feeling of winter, this feeling of snow and Christmas, we invested in this dynamic snow system. And it's particularly powerful because of the work with NVIDIA in order to have the truly deformable snow, the HBO Plus, the dynamic lighting that we have on the footprints creates a very sort of realistic and believable shadowing system on every footprint. When you're playing this game on PC, the snow actually is at different depths depending on whether you're at the rooftop, whether you're walking through a snowbank, etc. And the footprints of Batman and the enemies as they're fighting, as you'll see a little bit later on, are all modifying the snow technology in real time. You'll also notice there's quite a lot of flurry action. As Batman runs around, you'll see this also later on if we get into a fight in the open world. As Batman's fighting, little snow devils are kicking up on his feet. Everything to help reinforce this idea that this is a winter time activity. This is taking place on Christmas Eve itself. Now, as Nick is attempting to infiltrate the police headquarters here, you'll notice that there are SWAT and cops everywhere on high alert. You'll notice this throughout the game. These people are on high alert because of events that have taken place earlier in the game, but nowhere is their presence going to be more concentrated than right in front of their headquarters, exactly the place Batman is trying to break into. So as Nick is trying to silently take out these enemies, I'll talk a little bit more about the character himself. Third-person action-adventure game like Batman, a lot of the time, Batman fills up a big chunk of the screen, right? You're seeing him from behind. He fills up, up to a quarter of the screen, depending on where our camera is positioned. He's a key asset. He's got to look the best he can possibly look. It was a wonderful opportunity to take some of this incredible new technology that NVIDIA has created, their rocket scientists, as it were, and invest that in something that seems like such a small detail, Batman's cape, right? But Batman's cape fills up a quarter of the screen throughout some of the experience, and so we wanted it to look the best it could possibly look. So using PhysX, using their new lighting system, HBO Plus, using all of the sort of, just in general, the physics, the soft body systems that they really sort of push the envelope on that stuff. The cape, when you're playing on PC, reacts in a very realistic way. The physics on the cape is absolutely to a next level. The folds and the materials on the cape look as great as they can possibly look. The way the lighting reflects the small details of the shadows and the reflections of the light on the cape are quite literally the best they can possibly look. So this is a wonderful opportunity to take something that might seem subtle, but that actually is, upwards of a quarter of the screen, and combine all of these sort of layered technologies and combine them together to make this one asset shine. Another thing I love to talk about, which unfortunately isn't presented on this particular rooftop, is the turbulence that Tony demonstrated earlier. I was talking about how there's smoke and fog, everywhere in a Batman game, right? Because of the ambience of a Batman game, you want that sort of heavy, oppressive, sort of foggy atmosphere. What's amazing is having that truly volumetric fog that responds to player action. To have a fight in the middle of a foggy environment where every punch that Batman throws, every time he swings his cape, you're actually seeing the true physics turbulence of those actions impact the smoke. You're seeing the little eddies swirl around, you're seeing the little snow devils and whatnot. it creates a truly immersive experience. The visuals are absolutely outstanding, and I wish you could see it right here on this rooftop. I wish I could just kind of click a button and drop a big smokestack in front of this, but unfortunately, this environment doesn't have smokestacks. So let's make our way into the GCPD and continue on through this objective, trying to find the server room and acquire this key piece of information we need from the National Criminal Database. Now, as we make our way down here, I'll talk a little bit back, away from sort of the technology, back towards the sort of narrative of what's going on here. The early career space of Batman is one we were immediately attracted to for a variety of reasons, but a key one was the opportunity to tell the foundation, the formation of some of these, quite frankly, most pivotal relationships in modern popular culture, right? I mean, Batman is absolutely an icon of popular culture, and the relationship that Batman has with Gordon, with Bane, with Joker are pretty pivotal relationships to Batman and pop culture in general. And our game is an opportunity to tell about the origins of those relationships. This is the first time Batman has ever had any significant encounters with Captain Gordon. As I said earlier, this game, they don't start out as friends, but having an opportunity to take them from a place where there's no trust, where there's animosity, where there's literal tension and friction between these two, and bring them to a place where we know they eventually get, right? A place of admiration, of mutual respect, is a wonderful opportunity. Now, right there, what we saw was Batman eavesdropping on a conversation with Gordon, where he was talking with his squad about the fact that even though on this night there are 8 assassins trying to, tear the city apart, their number one objective is Batman. That's their main focus. They think if they capture him, if they bring him to justice and put him behind bars, everything else will just solve itself. Again, reinforcing the fact that on top of the assassins, on top of everything else that's going wrong this night, there is literally nowhere to run and hide. Batman is being attacked on all fronts.
Dispatch, Bat is 1097. Engage! Sick of this. Finish it! Learn this move.
Now, as challenging as it is for Batman to deal with, cops, it's a world he's familiar with, right? The thugs in the street, he spent the last 2 years dealing with that. Cops in the street, cops who don't like him, he's kind of used to that. He's had that for 2 years as a vigilante. What he hasn't had to deal with is what we're about to see in this next room. The arrival of the Black Mask, the bounty that the Black Mask has put on Batman's head, is a catalyst that changes everything. From this night on, things will never be the same for Batman again. It's a turning point where he goes from a world where organized crime and the cops is his number one threat to something completely different. Let's listen.
Like you jokers were playing cleanup for a black game. I was making us some money. I worked out a deal with a pound Black Mask. This was to kill the bat before the assassins get to him. We get the bounty. All $50 million. And for those of you who ain't too good with the math, that means we all retire early.
Nice. That's what I'm talking about. Let's take him down then.
Yeah.
What are we waiting for?
So that's Brandon. He's the head of the SWAT division, the most corrupt officer in the entire GCPD police force. And as he was saying, he's partnered up with Black Mask so that the SWAT division can get in on the $50 million bounty. If they kill Batman, they get it themselves. So clearly they're not going to play nice. They're not going to treat him with kid gloves. They're going to shoot to kill. And this is the new world order that Batman has to face as a result of the events of this night, where he's as likely on the street corner to find a cop gunning for his head or an assassin who's trying to kill him for fame or glory or money than he is a drug dealer or someone who's trying to, move some weaponry or something. It is a fundamental shift, a fundamental change in the kinds of challenges and consequences he's going to face on a day-to-day basis.
What does this disruptor of yours do?
Little bit of this, little bit of that. Mostly, though, it does a whole lot of none of your damn business.
Oh, you want to play it like that?
Not you again.
Talk, or you won't be walking anywhere, ever.
No way! You gotta answer for dropping me off that rooftop, buddy!
No, you have to answer to me. How does this disruptor work?
Ask one of the pigs! They got it in evidence lockup!
How about we take a little walk up to the roof?
Okay, you win! It jams weapons, overrides electronic locks, alright? Now you're gonna let me go!
How'd that work out for you last time?
So, this is an expression I'm fond of. When all you have is a hammer, every problem looks like a nail. And at this point in time in his career, this younger, raw Batman very much holds true to that statement. He solves his problem with a level of violence and a level of aggression that is not necessarily carried over later on in his career, where he becomes more refined, more controlled. He's learned how to sort of funnel and manage the rage that he feels. He's not learned to master the rage, and there are lots of instances throughout this game where you see him applying a little bit more pressure, a little bit more aggression than he probably needs to, because it's an early career Batman, and that is who he was at that point in time.
We can work this out.
Priority 1 alert. All personnel be advised. 211's reported on the ground. 622 on the premises. Repeat, priority 1 alert. Intruder in the building.
Up your asses!
Just about to wrap up here with one final scripted event. Again, a little tease for some of you. This is not something that's been seen very far. It's a new character who plays a pretty important role in this game, which is Barbara Gordon. Let's just take a look.
Completely outside the system.
The system is broken.
Oh well. Trust me, Barbara Gordon is in the game. If you know the IP, if you know the character, you know who she eventually becomes, you know her role. She is the daughter of Gordon, and she plays an important role that you'll have to play the game yourself to see. Thank you very much. That's Batman Arkham Origins. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed the next one.
That's awesome. So what you guys think? Good? Yeah. Can we put any other technology in there? I think it's, other than like cooking eggs and, cutting hair, it's got pretty much everything under the sun. Not only is it a great game, but it's a showcase of some amazing technology. And if you didn't catch it, as he was rolling around in the snow was swirling and all that kind of stuff, there's turbulence there. It's going to be an awesome game to play and an awesome game visually. So super excited to work with the guys. We've had a long history of working on the Batman franchise, and it continues to be one of the most kind of compelling games and one of the most compelling uses of NVIDIA's technology. So